Why not? Let's do a video before I go to sleep tonight. You know, I look at my data of my viewers and subscribers. Something astounded me. Over 90% of my viewers and followers, subscribers, are male. Am I really that ugly? Or is this topic I talk about of no interest to women? And it's supposedly equitable. We're all the same type of world. There must still be difference between men and women. Anyway, this is not a rant about gender equality and all that other good stuff. This is the rant today about, well, it's not a rant. I think it's a bit of introspective. Introspection on why some people, despite working very, very hard in life, never succeed. So, in Malaysia, we have a high number of cars to population. In fact, it's one of the few countries I went to where a person often owns multiple cars. Even in the US, most people do not own multiple cars. But in Malaysia, even a middle-class family often owns 3, 4, 5, 6 cars for 2 people. The reason why is that Malaysia has very low cost of living. And on top of that, you have low taxes. Your property prices are still fairly low. So people are with extra cash, what do? They buy a motorcycle and they buy cars. Man, women do other things. But so driving around the street, of course, is quite congested in Malaysia. And since arriving in Malaysia, I have been observing with different way people drive. Malaysia is quite interesting in the sense that Malaysians are slowing everything except driving. They are some of the most aggressive, racing, speeding drivers on the planet. And it's just a habit. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. Except for some very old uncles who are just trying to barely hold on to their lives as they drive down the road. So, other than the fact that they drive very fast, I also noticed that a phenomenon is that certain people do not let other people get in. And these certain people, maybe it's just my personal experience bias, but I always notice in Malaysia, it is always old Chinese uncles driving really crappy cars. Viras, Proton Sagas, or beat up Toyota minivans, those construction worker vans, right? If you're in Malaysia, you know what those models are. So, but Malaysians generally are pretty generous and nice people, right? Malaysians in general, even including Chinese. So I started to think about this, like, why is that? Is these old Chinese, particularly Chinese, uncles, are so mean on the road? They won't let you in till you give turn signals. They won't cut. They'll literally, you're trying to give turn signals, trying to turn in, they will jam their car in front of you so it'll block you. When I'm riding motorcycle, I split lanes. I go between two car lanes, going down the middle. And what they do, they don't like a motorcyclist. So what they do, they jam the car next to the other car so you can't go by them. To me, I don't understand this. Today, for example, okay, let's talk about motorcycles. Why wouldn't you want motorcycle to go by? Motorcycles create less traffic on the road. Then if I drove a car and took up all that space, motorcycle go through such small spaces so quickly. All the world's traffic problem would be alleviated if people all say, take public transit. Public transit isn't the most efficient, enjoyable experience. But I can tell you, there's another way to solve world traffic problem. Get everybody to ride motorcycles. Overnight, there will be no more traffic jam in the world. Amazingly, look at Vietnam as a country. Vietnam as a country is the most packed, dense road on the planet. And they don't have traffic jam. Why? Because everybody ride motorcycles there. Everybody just scoot along. But in Indonesia, there's a huge traffic jam. Why? Because motorcycles are not allowed to go on the freeway. So they have to be jammed together with cars in the local roads. In Jakarta, happen to have one of the worst traffic in the world, next to Manila. And of course, they have stupid rules against people riding motorcycles, right? Motorcycles can only go on side roads, local roads. And cars can get on the freeway. Makes no sense to me. What happens when it rains? Everyone gets stuck. Why? Because everyone slows down. If you want to get things through the traffic quickly, you want quick flowing. You don't want a slow flow. For a given amount of volume, you want things to go fast to get the traffic through. And motorcycles are much faster than cars. When the traffic is very jammed and packed. Okay, so go back to Malaysia uncles, Chinese uncles. And this is a temperament thing, right? Malays there tend to be a lot more relaxed, less competitive, and so forth than Chinese. Chinese culturally is just a very competitive race. So they always have to compete with each other and with other people, right? So I noticed this pattern. It's always these old uncles, the young uncles even, driving really beat up cars and trying to not let anybody cut into their lane, get in front of them, or pass them. And I know by nature Chinese uncles are hardworking. So you're like, why are these people not succeeding? So my theory is this, and I think a lot of people would agree with me, is that, and I will say this before, rich people collaborate, poor people compete. Rich people collaborate to make more money. You have some resource, I have some resource, let's put them together, more money for everybody. What do poor people do? There's only one loaf of bread, and everyone's gonna go after it, pulling each other's hair. You know, best example, Black Friday. Black Friday. This is poor people trying to get a deal, right? Because poor people live in this mindset of scarcity. They always think that there's not enough to go around, so I better grab mine before other people grab theirs. And they apply this to everything, including driving. Even though the road, the lane is limitless, you let me get in front of you, and 5 minutes later I'll get out to another lane because I'm trying to exit. You know, you still keep going. What is the big deal? But their mindset is always, I gotta fight for the very little thing I have so I can survive. So I don't know whether it's this scarcity mindset that makes them poor, or is the poorness make them having this scarcity mindset. I think it's a chicken egg problem. And there's no way you can change these people. There's no way you can change people because they're so stuck in that mindset. Because their whole life they're fighting, competing, struggling against other humans to get a little bit of something they have. When they could just let go, they would have been actually much better off, both mentally, emotionally, and financially. So today what happened to this, I was driving my car, I was trying to make an exit, which is less than 200 meters, and closing. So unfortunately the road is jammed, so I have plenty of time even though it's only 200 meters. I see that there's a gap opening up, so I went from the outside lane toward the exit lane, trying to get into the exit lane. I was 2 lanes away, right? I have to get through this lane, then get exit lane. What did I do? As soon as the uncle saw my light, what did he do? I already put my tip of my car in the lane. What did he do? He immediately jammed his beat up old Toyota van in front of me. I look at him like, why? Why won't you let me in? What do you have to lose? I said, okay. I looked at him. I said, okay. What do? I keep going because my lane is actually faster. I kept going. Got into the lane. 2 cars ahead of him. He gained nothing except pissed me off. And these kind of people probably does this every freaking day. They don't even know it. They keep fighting and being so grabby and fighting, competitive and fighting. They piss everybody off around them until no one wants to help them anymore. So they're all alone in the world. To get no assistance, give nothing so they get nothing. They give nothing so they get nothing. So the lesson today with this old Chinese uncle and many other Chinese uncle, they're not going to change. I didn't make these videos to help them. But if you're a young guy and you see that you have this mindset where you feel like you have to compete with everybody for everything, whether it's a job, it's driving, girls, money, whatever, just think about this, okay? Do you get ahead faster and easier by collaborating with other people? Or do you get ahead faster by mowing down everyone that's standing in front of you? Because I can promise you that line in front of you is a long line. And if you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to all compete, all grab, all hustle, all those people in front of you, even if you succeeded, it will be a terrible life you lead. And most likely you won't succeed. You will just be these old Chinese uncles that have a miserable life, miserable personality. Yeah, I know who they are. I see those Chinese uncles all day long. Grumpy, mad, whiny, complaining. And yet still, despite all their hard work and hustle, they get nowhere. Poor people compete. Rich people collaborate. Collaborate with others. Help others get what they want. And you get what you want. Help others get what they want so you can get what you want. That is a lesson that we can learn from these annoying Chinese uncle drivers in Malaysia. That's it for today. Bye-bye.